Imagine possessing a mind so strong that nothing could break it, a spirit so resilient that life's storms would only strengthen it instead of destroying it. This mental strength exists, and it is not reserved for a lucky few. It is a capacity you can build, stone by stone, day after day. Perhaps you are going through difficult moments right now. Perhaps you feel like everything is collapsing around you and you no longer have the strength to continue. Perhaps you feel alone, discouraged, exhausted by the weight of existence. If that is your case, I want you to know one thing. What you feel is real, your pain is valid, but it is not your final destiny. Today, I am going to show you how the Stoics built a steel mind that allowed them to go through the worst trials without breaking. These 8 lessons are not just superficial motivation. They are concrete tools that helped emperors, slaves, philosophers to stay standing when everything was falling apart. If you apply them with patience, you will build an inner strength that nothing can destroy. Before going further, I want to be clear. If you are going through a period of great suffering, if you have thoughts that frighten you, these tools can help, but they never replace professional support. Talking to a psychologist, calling a listening line like the 988, if you are in the United States or Canada, 116123 in the United Kingdom, asking for help from someone you trust. This is not weakness. It is courage. These lessons are here to strengthen you, not to isolate you. Before we begin, if you feel like it, go to the comments and write, "Today, I build my inner strength." With these words, you declare your intention not to give up, to build something solid in you. Write it now and know that you are not alone in this fight. Do not miss any of these lessons, especially the last one, which reveals the ultimate secret of an indestructible mind. If you find value in these videos, I encourage you to subscribe and turn on notifications. Let us begin. Lesson 1. Find the strength to keep going when everything seems lost. There are moments in life when everything seems to collapse simultaneously, when every door seems closed, when every attempt fails, when hope itself seems to have disappeared. In those moments, even breathing takes effort. If you are living that right now, I want you to know that I see you, that your struggle is real. Here is a truth the Stoics understood deeply. The fact that you feel everything is lost does not mean everything truly is lost. Your emotions are real and valid, but they are not always faithful reflections of reality. That is the crucial difference between feeling despair and actually being in a truly desperate situation. When everything seems dark, your brain is lying to you. It tells you it has always been like this and always will be. But that is biologically false. Your current emotional state distorts your perception of the past and your imagination of the future. It is not you thinking clearly, it is your pain thinking through you. The strength to keep going does not come from immediately seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. It comes from the simple but powerful decision to hold on for just one more day, not a year, not a month, just today, just this hour, sometimes just this minute. That is all you need to do right now. Understand something fundamental. You have already survived 100% of your worst days so far. Read that sentence again. Every horrible day you went through, you survived it. You are stronger than you believe, simply because you are still here, despite everything you have endured. Find just one small reason to hold on today. Not a monumental philosophical reason, something simple. A sunset you want to see, a person you want to talk to tomorrow, a meal you would like to eat. These small reasons have more power than you imagine to carry you through the darkest moments. The strength to keep going does not always show itself as heroic courage. Sometimes it is just the stubborn obstination of refusing to give up. It is deciding that even if you cannot be happy today, you can at least be present. Even if you cannot win today, you can at least not lose. Talk to someone, anyone, a friend, a family member, a listening line, a professional. Isolation amplifies pain and distorts reality. Sometimes just expressing what you feel to someone who listens without judging can lighten a burden you have been carrying alone for too long. Do one tiny thing that takes care of you. Take a shower, eat something nourishing, go for a 5-minute walk. These acts seem insignificant when you are suffering intensely, but they send a powerful message to your brain. I deserve to be taken care of, even when I do not feel it. Remember that dawn always comes after the darkest night. This is not just a comforting metaphor, it is an observable fact. Emotional states are temporary by nature. No emotion, however intense, stays at maximum intensity indefinitely. Change is inevitable, even when it seems impossible. Marcus Aurelius, who went through wars, epidemics, betrayals, wrote, "You have the power to survive this. You are stronger than you think. You have already survived worse." He was right. The proof. You are still here reading these words. If you are ready to hold on for one more day and build your strength minute by minute, go to the comments and write, "I am holding on today." These words are a victory. Every day you continue is a victory against everything trying to make you give up, and these victories accumulate. Lesson 2. Understand that pain is temporary, giving up is permanent. Here is a difficult but essential truth. The pain you feel right now, however intense and overwhelming it may be, is temporary. It will pass, it will evolve, it will diminish. But if you give up permanently, you will never see what could have come after. Giving up is the only truly irreversible decision. I know that when you are suffering intensely, your brain screams that this pain will last forever, that nothing will ever change, that it is pointless to hope. But your brain, as intelligent as it is not a reliable prophet. It cannot predict the future, it only extrapolates your painful present. Think about the worst emotional pain you felt 5 years ago, or 3 years, or even 1 year. That pain that seemed eternal then. Where is it now? It transformed, it diminished, or it completely disappeared. This process will repeat itself with what you are going through now. The difference between those who cross through hell and those who stay there is not the absence of pain. It is the decision to keep walking despite the pain. It is understanding that as long as you move forward, even on all fours, even crawling, you eventually come out the other side. Here is something the Stoics understood deeply. Giving up when you are suffering seems like a solution to the pain, but it is an illusion. It is not a solution, it is the elimination of all future possibility of solution. It is closing the door to all possible changes, good or bad. Give time a chance to do its work. Time does not heal everything automatically, but it creates the space necessary for change to happen. Every day you survive is one more day where healing can begin, where help can arrive, where a new perspective can emerge. If you have thoughts of ending your life, please talk to someone right now. Go to the emergency room. Talk to anyone. These thoughts are the symptom of a pain that needs professional help, not a truth about your life. Understand that your future self will thank you for holding on today. In a year, in 5 years, when you look back on this moment, you will be grateful for having chosen to stay. You cannot imagine right now who you can become, what connections you can create, what joys you can experience. But they exist in that future you cannot yet see. Life is full of unpredictable changes. The person you will meet in 3 months who will change everything. The opportunity that will arise from nowhere. The perspective that will suddenly open up. The help that will arrive when you have stopped looking for it. You cannot predict these changes. You can only stay present long enough for them to manifest. Every great transformation story begins with someone who decided not to give up during their darkest moment. The most inspiring people you admire have all gone through their own hell. The difference, they chose to hold on one more day, then one more, until they came out the other side. Seneca, who knew exile, poverty, illness, and finally a forced death, wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor strengthens the body. Your current pain can become the foundation of your future strength, but only if you stay to build on it." If you are ready to give time a chance to change things, go to the comments and write, "I choose to see what comes after." This is not denying your present pain. It is affirming that you want to discover what the future holds, even if you cannot imagine it now. Lesson 3. Transform your mind into a shield against discouragement. Discouragement is like a contagious mental illness. It starts small, then spreads progressively until it contaminates every thought, every decision, every moment of your day. But you can build a mental immunity against it, a shield that blocks it before it completely invades you. Discouragement feeds on 3 main lies your brain repeats to you when you are vulnerable. First lie, you are not good enough. Second lie, nothing will ever change. Third lie, you are alone in this struggle. Each of these lies is destructive, but all 3 can be refuted with objective evidence. Start by identifying discouragement as soon as it appears. It has a recognizable mental signature, that voice that tells you every effort is pointless, that you should just give up, that you do not deserve better. As soon as you recognize that voice, name it. Here comes discouragement trying to manipulate me. This simple recognition creates a life-saving distance. Build a mental file of your past victories, even the smallest ones, every obstacle you overcame, every difficult day you went through, every moment when you thought you could not continue, but you did anyway. This file is your shield. When discouragement tells you that you are weak, open this file and look at the evidence to the contrary. Change your relationship with effort. Discouragement tells you that if something requires effort, it is a sign you are not made for it. But the truth is the opposite. What requires effort is precisely what makes you grow. Ease builds nothing. Difficulty builds everything. Create daily mental protection rituals. Every morning, before discouragement can settle in, do 3 things that nourish your spirit. Write 1 thing you are grateful for. Remember a past victory and define 1 micro-action you can accomplish today. These rituals do not seem powerful, but they create positive momentum. Surround yourself with active sources of encouragement, inspiring books, content that elevates, people who believe in you when you can no longer believe in yourself. Your mental environment is as important as your physical environment. A mind constantly exposed to negativity ends up absorbing it. Refuse automatic, catastrophic thoughts. Your brain, when discouraged, takes a small failure and extrapolates it into total catastrophe. I failed at this thing becomes I always fail at everything becomes I am a failure. Interrupt this chain at the first link. A failure is an event, not an identity. Understand that discouragement lies about your progress. You are probably advancing much more than you believe. Progress is often invisible until it suddenly is not. like bamboo that invisibly builds its roots for years before suddenly exploding upward. Your underground progress counts, even if you cannot see it yet. Develop a personal anti-discouragement mantra, a simple phrase you repeat when the wave comes. I am stronger than this moment. I have survived worse. This difficulty is building me. I am holding on today. Find your phrase and use it as a verbal shield against the assaults of discouragement. It is crucial to understand that if discouragement becomes overwhelming and persistent to the point of interfering with your daily life, it may be a sign of depression that requires professional help. The mental shield works best when supported by appropriate professional support, if necessary. Epictetus, who was born a slave and endured terrible physical suffering, taught, "It is not things that disturb us, but the opinion we have of them." Your mental shield changes your interpretation of difficulties, transforming what seemed insurmountable into simply difficult but doable. If you are ready to build this mental shield that will protect you from discouragement, go to the comments and write, "I protect myself, I build myself." Because a protected mind is a mind that can heal, grow, and ultimately become indestructible. Lesson 4. Refuse to let circumstances define your worth. Here is a liberating truth that few people truly understand. Your worth as a human being does not depend on any external circumstance, not your job, not your bank account, not your successes, not your failures. Your worth is intrinsic. It exists simply because you exist. Society has probably conditioned you to believe the opposite, that a person is worth what they accomplish, what they possess, what they produce. But this is a toxic lie that creates constant anxiety. If your worth depends on your performance, you can never rest. You are constantly threatened with becoming worthless. Even if you have lost everything, even if you have failed at everything you have attempted, even if you are at the lowest point socially, financially, emotionally, your fundamental worth remains intact. It has never diminished by a single iota. Circumstances can change. Your intrinsic worth is an immutable constant. Perhaps you feel useless because you do not contribute like others. Perhaps your illness, your situation, your difficulties prevent you from performing according to social standards. But your worth does not reside in your productivity. It resides in your humanity itself. Think about someone you love deeply, a parent, a friend, a child. Would you love them less if they lost their job, if they failed at a project, if they went through a depression? Of course not. Their worth in your eyes is independent of their circumstances. You offer them that grace. Offer yourself the same. Stop measuring your worth by your accomplishments. Surviving a difficult day is an accomplishment. Getting up despite the pain is an accomplishment. Asking for help when you need it is an accomplishment. These invisible victories count as much, if not more, than the visible and celebrated victories. Understand that the Stoics made a crucial distinction between what depends on you and what does not depend on you. Your external circumstances, they often do not entirely depend on you. Your character, your intentions, your efforts, those depend on you. Your worth resides in that second group, not the first. Refuse to compare yourself to others. Every person is fighting battles you cannot see. That person who seems to have succeeded at everything has their own hidden struggles. Your worth does not diminish because someone else seems to be doing better. You are playing different games with different rules and different handicaps. Define your worth by internal qualities, not external markers. Are you someone who tries to be good, who treats others with respect, who does their best with what they have? These qualities define who you truly are. independent of any circumstance. Remember that you have worth simply because you are capable of love, thought, growth. These capacities exist in you even in your darkest moments. Even when you cannot do anything, you can still feel, think, be, and that is enough. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of the known world, regularly wrote to remind himself that his worth did not come from his power, but from his character. He said, "Let your soul be good and simple, authentic and candid, more noble than the body that envelops it. Your worth is in your soul, not in your circumstances." If you are ready to separate your worth from your circumstances and recognize your intrinsic worth, go to the comments and write, "My worth depends on nothing external." This is a declaration of liberation. When you truly understand this, no circumstance can destroy your fundamental self-esteem. Lesson 5. Anchor your mind in unshakable reasons for living. A steel mind is not built in a vacuum. It needs to be anchored in something solid, something that gives you a reason to hold on, even when everything is collapsing. These reasons for living are the foundations on which all your mental strength rests. Here is a profound truth. You have more reasons to live than you currently believe. When you are suffering intensely, your brain hides these reasons under a veil of pain. They have not disappeared, they are just temporarily invisible. Your work is to find them again and make them conscious. Start by identifying 3 categories of reasons for living: the people you love, the experiences you still want to live, and the contributions you still want to make. Even if you think you have no reasons right now, search honestly. Just one small reason in each category is enough to begin. The people who matter to you are a powerful anchor. Even if you feel disconnected from them now, even if you think you are a burden to them, their lives would be irreparably changed by your absence. The hole you would leave would never be filled. Your existence has an impact you cannot measure from your current point of view. The future experiences you want to live are another anchor. There are places you have not yet seen, books you have not yet read, films you have not yet watched, sunsets you have not yet admired. These experiences are waiting for you, but only if you stay to live them. The contributions you can still make, however small they seem right now, are a third anchor. Perhaps your story of survival will inspire someone else in a few years. Perhaps you will help a person in a way you cannot yet imagine. Your future impact is unknown but real. Write your reasons for living physically, on paper, not just in your head. Create a list you can consult when dark moments arrive. This list becomes your tangible anchor. When your brain lies to you and says there is no reason to continue, take out this list. Written words fight mental lies. Develop a sense of meaning. Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist who survived the Nazi concentration camps, discovered that those who survived were those who found meaning in their suffering. Not that suffering is good, but that it could serve something. Perhaps your current struggle is preparing you to help others later. Anchor yourself also in the immediate present. Sometimes future reasons seem too distant when you are suffering now. In those moments, anchor yourself in this breath, this moment, this hour. Hold on now, just now, without thinking about tomorrow. Immediate anchoring can be more accessible than future anchoring. Create daily rituals that reconnect you to your reasons for living. Every morning, read your list. Every evening, add one small thing you are grateful for having lived today. These rituals strengthen your anchors even when you feel nothing intensely. Understand that your reasons for living do not need to be monumental. "I want to see how this series ends" is a valid reason to hold on today. I want to pet my cat tomorrow is a legitimate reason. Small reasons accumulate and become a powerful collective force. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself of his reasons for living despite wars, epidemics, betrayals. He wrote, "You have lived as a stranger in this world. Find your principles, find your why, and your life finds its direction." If you are ready to solidly anchor your mind in clear reasons for living, go to the comments and write, "I have reasons to stay." Whether it is an affirmation or a question, write it. And if you are truly struggling to find reasons, write, "I need help finding my reasons." The community is here, and professionals can help you discover them. Lesson 6. Develop mental immunity against destructive thoughts. Your thoughts are not truths. This is perhaps the most liberating lesson you can learn. A thought is just electrical activity in your brain, not a faithful reflection of reality. When you develop mental immunity, you learn to observe your thoughts without being controlled by them. Destructive thoughts have one thing in common. They are absolute, dramatic, and often false. I am worthless. Nothing will ever work. Everyone hates me. There is no hope. These thoughts seem true when they appear, but they are distortions created by pain. Start by practicing detached observation. When a destructive thought appears, do not fight it directly. Observe it as you would observe a passing cloud. Here is my thought, I am worthless, coming back again. Interesting. This observation creates a critical distance between you and the thought. Systematically question your destructive thoughts. Is it really true that I am worthless? What evidence do I have? What evidence contradicts this thought? Often when you examine objectively, you discover that the thought is based on emotions, not facts. Emotions are real, but they are not objective truths. Replace absolute thoughts with nuanced thoughts. Instead of, I am worthless, think, I failed at this specific thing, but I have succeeded at other things. Instead of, nothing will ever work, think, this approach did not work, I can try another one. Nuance is the deadly enemy of destructive thoughts. Understand the concept of cognitive fusion. This is when you completely fuse with a thought, where you can no longer distinguish between the thought and reality. I think I am worthless becomes I am worthless. Cognitive diffusion creates a space. I have the thought that I am worthless, but this thought is not necessarily true. Develop a repertoire of realistic counter-thoughts, not empty positive affirmations that sound false, but nuanced and credible truths. I have difficulties now, but I also have strengths. This situation is hard, but it is temporary. I feel lost, but I can ask for help. Practice mindfulness of your thoughts. Spend a few minutes each day simply observing your flow of thoughts without judgment. Notice how they come and go naturally. This regular practice develops your mental observation muscle that protects you when destructive thoughts attack. Create a thought journal. Write down your recurring destructive thoughts, then write rational responses next to them. This external process of writing helps your brain process them differently. A thought on paper often loses its hypnotic power. You can see it for what it is, a sentence, not an absolute truth. Understand that destructive thoughts are often symptoms of emotional fatigue, stress, or chemical imbalances in your brain. They do not reflect who you truly are. They reflect a brain under pressure that needs rest, support, perhaps professional help. If your thoughts become obsessional, intrusive, or push you toward dangerous actions, it is time to seek professional help immediately. Mental immunity works for normal, difficult thoughts, but certain thoughts indicate a need for therapeutic intervention. This is not failure, it is common sense. Epictetus taught a simple but powerful technique. When a troubling impression strikes you, say to yourself, "You are only an impression and not at all what you seem to be." This sentence is a mental vaccine. Your thoughts are impressions, not realities. Treat them as such. If you are ready to develop this mental immunity that protects you from your own destructive thoughts, go to the comments and write, "My thoughts do not control me." This is declaring your power of conscious observation. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who observes them and chooses how to respond. Lesson 7. Transform your suffering into strength that makes you indestructible. Here is a truth nobody wants to hear, but that is nevertheless liberating. Your suffering is not wasted if you choose to learn from it. Every trial you go through can become a layer of mental armor that makes you stronger for the future. Not because suffering is good, but because you can choose to extract strength from it. The difference between those who are broken by adversity and those who become indestructible through it. Not the absence of pain, but the decision to transform that pain into wisdom, empathy, resilience. This is a conscious choice you can make even in the middle of your current suffering. Start by recognizing what your suffering has already taught you. It has probably made you more empathetic toward others who suffer. It has shown you who your true allies are. It has revealed strengths in you that you did not know you had. These lessons have value, even if you would have preferred never having to learn them. Every time you get back up after falling, you prove to your brain that you can survive the fall. This proof accumulates. The first time you go through a terrible trial, you do not know if you can do it. The second time, you have proof that it is possible. The third time, you begin to become confident in your survival capacity. Understand the concept of post-traumatic growth. It is not just surviving trauma, it is coming out of it with new strength. People who go through great trials often develop a deeper appreciation of life, more authentic relationships, greater confidence in their ability to handle difficulties. Refuse to let your identity be defined by your suffering. You are not a victim. You are someone who has gone through trials and is still standing. This nuance of language changes everything. A victim is powerless. A survivor is powerful. You can choose which narrative you adopt. Use your suffering as fuel to help others. This is perhaps the most powerful transformation possible. When you are on the other side of this trial, and you will be, your experience can help someone else going through the same thing. Your current suffering then becomes a bearer of future meaning. Do not rush to transform your suffering while you are still in it. It's okay to just survive first. The transformation can come later when you have a little distance. For now, if all you can do is breathe and hold on, that is enough. Wisdom will come with time. Create a mental museum of your victories over adversity. Every time you survive something difficult, archive it mentally. I thought I could not survive X, but I did. This museum becomes your living proof that you are stronger than your trials. Understand that steel itself is created by intense fire. The metal is heated to extreme temperatures, hammered, plunged into cold water, then reheated. This brutal process is what makes it both solid and flexible. Your suffering, as terrible as it may be, follows the same principle if you choose to come out of it forged rather than broken. Seneca, who knew exile, poverty, and was finally forced to his own death, wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor strengthens the body." He was not saying difficulties are good, but that they can be used to build a strength that comes from no other source. If you are ready to begin transforming your suffering into indestructible mental armor, go to the comments and write, "My suffering forges me, it does not break me." This is not denying your pain, it is affirming your power to transform it into something that makes you stronger. Lesson 8. Become mentally self-sufficient and indestructible. Here is the ultimate secret of a steel mind: mental self-sufficiency. It is the capacity to find peace, strength, and stability within yourself, independent of any external condition, not because you do not need others, but because your fundamental worth and peace depend on no one but you. Mental self-sufficiency is not isolation. You can and should seek support, connection, help when you need it. But your basic inner peace should not depend on obtaining that support. It exists in you first, then relationships enrich it without creating it. Most people build their mental stability on external foundations: other people's approval, professional success, romantic relationships, social recognition. The problem: all these things can disappear overnight. If your peace depends on them, you will always be in a precarious balance. Build your inner peace on internal foundations: your values, your integrity, your efforts, your character. These things depend entirely on you. Nobody can take them from you. Even if you lose everything else, these foundations remain solid beneath your feet. Develop the capacity to be alone without feeling lonely. Solitude becomes powerful when you learn to appreciate your own company. This does not mean giving up relationships, but no longer depending on them to feel complete. You are already complete. Relationships add richness, they do not create your completeness. Stop seeking external validation to feel worthy. Every time you ask for others' approval to feel good about yourself, you give away your power. Start validating yourself. Recognize your own efforts, celebrate your own victories, be proud of your own values. Create a kind and encouraging internal dialogue. Become your own best friend, your own coach, your own supporter. Talk to yourself the way you would talk to someone you love deeply. This kind inner voice becomes your portable mental sanctuary that you carry everywhere. Understand that mental self-sufficiency paradoxically makes you better in relationships. When you do not desperately need others to feel complete, you can love them freely without toxic attachment. You choose relationships out of desire, not desperate need. Develop a daily routine that nourishes your mental independence. Meditation, writing, exercise, reading, these solitary practices strengthen your inner sanctuary. They remind you that you can create your own peace, your own meaning, your own strength. Accept that you will sometimes be alone in your struggle. Even with the best support in the world, there are internal battles you must face alone. Mental self-sufficiency prepares you for those moments. You know you have the inner resources to get through even when nobody else can help. Cultivate gratitude for what you already have within you. You have survived 100% of your worst days. You have a capacity for resilience that you have already proven. You have an inner strength that has held until now. Recognize and honor these internal resources. Marcus Aurelius, despite all his external power, found his true strength within. He wrote, "Seek within yourself. There lies the source of good, a source capable of flowing without ceasing if you keep digging." Your steel mind is built by digging that inner source. If you are ready to become mentally self-sufficient and build a peace that nothing external can destroy, go to the comments and write, "My strength comes from within." This is declaring your mental independence. You are no longer at the mercy of external circumstances. You have built a steel mind that nothing can reach. If you have made it here, write in the comments, "Today I build my inner strength. I am a Stoic." Now tell me which lesson touched you the most, which lesson resonates most deeply with what you are going through right now. You do not need to apply all 8 at once. Choose the one that speaks to you most and start there. Perhaps it is the lesson about finding the strength to continue, or the one about transforming your suffering, or the one about mental self-sufficiency. Write in the comments the lesson you are going to put into practice first. I want to remind you of something essential. If you are going through a period of great suffering, if you have thoughts that frighten you, never hesitate to seek professional help. Call 988 if you are in the United States or Canada, 116123 in the United Kingdom, or 0800 567 567 in South Africa. Talk to a psychologist. Go to the emergency room if necessary. These Stoic tools are powerful, but they complement and never replace professional support when it is needed. Building a steel mind is a process, not an event. Be patient with yourself. Some days will be harder than others. That is normal. What matters is that you keep going, day after day, building that inner strength that will make you indestructible. You are not alone in this construction. This community is here. Professionals are available, and within you already exists a strength you may not have fully discovered yet, but that is real, and that grows every day you choose to stay and to build. I invite you to subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment so that YouTube recognizes that these videos are useful for people like you. This motivates us to keep creating content that can truly help. I suggest you watch the 2 last videos we recommend. I sincerely thank you for your time, your courage, and your presence. The fact that you made it here proves that you have already begun to build your steel mind. Keep going. Hold on. You are stronger than you believe. See you in our next adventure.